Hi everyone, Adam here, and this is what I watched for January 2026. So, this is just an overview of movies I either watched at the cinema or first time watches. Okay, here we go. On the 2nd, I watched The Housemaid. Here's a synopsis. Discover what lies behind closed doors. Trying to escape her past, Millie accepts the job as a live-in housekeeper for the wealthy Nina and Andrew Winchester. But what begins as a dream job quickly unravels into something far more dangerous, a seductive game of secret, scandal, and power. I actually like this more than I thought. I mean, it is a little bit silly. I can't really give too much away about the plot. It's best to go in not knowing that much about it. I thought the cast did a good job. I mean, Amanda Seyfried is a pretty decent actress. Sydney Sweeney, I mean, she does give a good performance. Sydney Sweeney, I mean, she does give a good performance. And I know some people. And, it's silly, but it's one of those movies, it's enjoyably silly, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it did go in a direction where I didn't think it would go into. But, yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. On the 16th of January, I watched 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Obviously, the follow-up to 28 Years Later. Here's a synopsis. Dr. Carlson finds himself in a shocking new relationship with consequences that could change the world as they know it. And Spike's encounter with Jimmy Crystal becomes a nightmare he can't escape. Okay, this is pretty much a direct continuation of the previous film. I will say I like this more than the previous one. There's some really good performances, of course, Ralph Fiennes, but a lot of credit has to go to Jack O'Connell, who plays pretty much a lead villain who goes by the name of Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal. He's a bad guy, but he has charisma. It's something Jack O'Connell seems to be good at. He is also the bad guy in Sinners. But yeah, I gotta say, I preferred this to the other one. I liked it a lot more. It does go in, well, a kind of a strange direction. Ralph Fiennes is fantastic in this. I say, if you were disappointed by the previous one, I think see this, and yeah, I thought it was an improvement, to be honest. There's still some bit of zombie action, and it does go in an interesting direction as well. Yeah, so I did actually enjoy this. On the 18th of January, I went to see Labyrinth. This is a 40th anniversary screening. I'm sure a lot of people my generation have seen it. It's kind of a cult movie. Directed by Jim Henson, of course, the creator of The Muppets. But here's a synopsis. Where everything seems possible and nothing is what it seems, frustrated with babysitting on yet another weekend night, Sarah, a teenager with an active imagination, summons the goblins to take her baby stepbrother away. When little Toby actually disappears, Sarah must follow him into a fantastical world to rescue him from the Goblin King. Gardener's Castle is the labyrinth itself, a twisted maze of deception populated with outrageous characters and unknown dangers. Yeah, so it's still a very charming movie, to be honest. I enjoyed watching it. I hadn't watched it in a long time. It stars David Bowie and his codpiece. There's, and of course, there's a couple of catchy songs. Yeah, but I do enjoy this, of course. Of course, Jim Henson did another movie called The Dark Crystal which was a little bit bleaker than this. This one's a bit more light-hearted. I mean, a bit more light-hearted about a baby being kidnapped, I guess. Yeah, but also it features some fantastic puppetry, as you'd expect. And the creature designs are all pretty really great. I mean, yeah, this is before CGI or anything like that. And it is still fun. Of course, some of the effects have dated a little bit, but it's still a very enjoyable movie. All right, let's not monkey around. On the 23rd, I watched Primates. Here's a synopsis. Home from college, Lucy reunites with family, including pet chimp Ben. Ben contracts rabies during a pool party and turns aggressive. Lucy and friends barricade in a pool, devising ways to survive the vicious chimp. Yeah, okay, this does sound silly, and it is a bit silly, but I really enjoyed it. And there is a few gory scenes, and most interesting thing about this is that the chimp, which is basically just a person in a suit, actually looks pretty good. Or I thought it did. Uh, yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. It's kind of like a slasher, but instead of a masked killer, we've got, well, a monkey. But yeah, I thought this was actually quite fun. On the 25th, I watched Mercy, which has so far been called the worst movie of the year. Okay, it was only January when that came out. Here's a synopsis. Prove your innocence to an AI judge or face execution. In the near future, a detective stands on trial accused of murdering his wife. He has 90 minutes to prove his innocence to the advanced AI judge he once championed before it determines his fate. Alright, to be honest, I didn't think this was as bad as a lot of people said. It's not good either. Interesting ideas. Chris Pratt, in probably a more serious role than I've seen him in before. But most of it is really just him sitting on a chair, just using surveillance video to try to find what happened to his wife. Or did he actually murder his own wife? I mean, yeah, I mean, I did see it. I don't remember it too well, but I remember thinking it's not as awful as everybody says. Not that good. Has a few action scenes, but nothing too memorable, to be honest. It's just, yeah. On the 31st, I watched Send Help. Let's get this out. Here's a synopsis. Meet Linda Little. She's from strategy and planning. She's a boss now. And two colleagues become stranded on a deserted island, the only survivors of a plane crash. On the island, they must overcome past grievances and work together to survive. But ultimately, it's a battle of wills and wits to make it out alive. You know what? I actually really enjoyed this. Rachel McAdams plays kind of a meek, well, strategist, as it said there, who gets stuck on a deserted island with her, well, obnoxious, arrogant boss who treats her like crap. And it is interesting to watch the character dynamics change as Linda's into survival, and Bradley, her boss, has to realize that he's not in charge. Yeah, this is directed by Sam Raimi. Horror fans will know that director. It does get a bit silly at times, and maybe at the end it goes a little bit overboard, but you know what? I pretty much enjoyed the whole thing, to be honest. Both Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien both give really good performances, and there's a little bit of humour in it as well. So yeah, this is another movie I just found fun, as silly as it got. Okay, so that's what I watched for January 2026. Let us know, have you seen any of these, and what do you think? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm Adam, and I'll see you again soon.